Hello everyone. Welcome to our psychic party. Woo woo woo. So, I want to start off by letting you know I am house sitting and pet sitting for a friend of mine. So, if you hear animals in the background or if you hear heavy breathing, that is actually the dog. So, she just shook herself out right now, and so there's the heavy breathing. I would show her to you, but I'm on my desktop. But it's a beautiful German Shepherd, and so if you hear her panting or barking or anything like that, it's just her. Also, there are some horses in the back, so yeah, there's a lot of weird things that can happen tonight. So, anyways, I wanted to start by welcoming everyone in today's psychic party. What I am going to do is we are going to open up with prayer, and after that, I'm just going to open up to any messages that want to come through. So, when I talk about messages coming through, this could be psychic, meaning that if you guys have a question about something happening in your home life or your work life or relationships, that's something you can ask. But of course, if spirits want to come through, so spirits from the other side, if they want to come through and deliver messages of hope, peace, and love, and all that good stuff, I'm going to allow that to come through too. So I can't control who comes through. Spirit's just going to do whatever they're going to do. I'm going to trust that the right spirits are going to come through for the right people tonight. And here's also that's very, very, very important for you guys. If I start speaking about someone on the other side and it applies to you, I need you to speak up. Please don't email me afterwards. Don't try to PM me afterwards and ask for the message after I've already connected with that person, because I can't guarantee I'll make that connection again. And once this broadcast is over, once this party is over, I'm releasing all energies to everyone who has come through. So if I happen to say, I've got a female here, she had a cookie addiction, and I give more information, you're like, oh my gosh, that does sound like my mom, my aunt, my sister, whoever it is. Speak up now or forever hold your peace. All right, so that's how that is going to how that's going to play out. That's how we're going to do it. So all right, so we've got a pretty good amount of people here today, so that is fantastic. So I'm sure that we can expect some amazing messages from spirits. So we are going to start with a prayer. And so, what I'd like you guys to do is, I want you to go ahead and join me in this prayer, because really what we're doing is setting the intention. So, take a break from the chatting, give your fingers a rest, and just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe out. And let's all get centered together. Okay, so all of us together. So long as you're not driving, if you're in an area where you can safely close your eyes and breathe with me, I'm going to invite you to do that. I'm going to ask you to do that. So one more time, breathing in and out. And you can take a few more breaths if you want. And so right now I am setting the intention for all of us to be of one mind and one spirit. And I am asking the world of spirit to come through with messages of the highest good and the highest light for all who are here today. So in this moment of peace, in this moment of love, we dedicate this space to love, to light, to all that is good. And we ask our angels and guides and our loved ones of light to come forward and to, even right now in this moment, bring forth feelings of peace, comfort, hope, and restoration. And let's just breathe into that. Peace, hope, love, and restoration. And so some people are here today because they want to receive some form of closure. Others are here because they do need balance, some form of balance in their life. And restoration feels like it is the theme for tonight. So many of the messages that are going to come through tonight are most likely going to be about that. And so right now, whatever your question is, whatever your struggle is, I'm going to ask you to place that in the center of your heart and just surround that question with love. Surround that challenge with love and with peace. And we're going to trust that Spirit is going to come through with answers for each of us tonight. And even if those answers are not individual, they will be for the collective. So we ask for healing and restoration tonight, this very day, this very moment, in this sacred space. And so right now, it is with a heart and energy of gratitude that we thank the spirit world, we thank our angels, we thank our guides, we thank them all for coming forward right now, even before these messages are received, because we know that we're going to get good messages. We know they're going to be helpful. And so we thank our guides and our angels and our loved ones for this moment, for the ability to share in this energy right now. And so it is. Okay. So go ahead and open your eyes. You can take a nice big breath in and breathe out again to get centered. So when we were praying just now, the messages coming through, what I was really feeling right now is a sense of balance and a sense of restoration. So I feel that that is something that a lot of you need. And as we tune into that energy, this is also about you understanding and knowing what restoration looks like for you. And for some of you, that restoration actually means that you can't actually restore certain things, but you can restore yourself. So for some of you, you may have to walk away from a relationship. You may have to learn to accept the apology you never received. For some of you, you may have to let the job go, because there are certain things in your world that are heavily affecting your peace. And I feel like for some of you, your own minds have turned against you, like your own mind is a war zone. And it's not because of anything you've done. It's because the environment you're in is toxic, and it has garnered I want to say not self-faith, the exact opposite of that, self-doubt. And so many of you are doubting yourselves, and you're doubting your ability to succeed. You're doubting your finances, your ability to get ahead financially. And you need to be able to restore your belief in yourself before you can really restore anything else. So for some of you who are up for homework over the weekend, I suggest that you kind of audit your life. Take a look at who you're spending a lot of time with. Take a look at how you feel when you go to your job, how you feel when you're in different environments. Just really take a look at all of it, and see what you need to cut out of your life, because you deserve peace. Okay, you deserve to have a good, healthy life, and that is and that's true for your mental health too. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and see what spirits want to come through. First of all, I do see Lila saying thank you, Nicole. Is there any messages regarding my health? Should I still continue with this surgery? Okay, so when it comes to health questions, I don't typically answer those, because I feel like it's really important for you to have a sense of agency when it comes to your life and when it comes to your health. Also, I'm not a doctor or physician. I'm not a medical intuitive. The message that's coming through, though, when it comes to the surgery, and please keep in mind, like, this is peer-to-peer advice. This is strictly intuitive. So of course, speak to your doctors and your healthcare practitioners. But the message that's coming through is to look at all of your options. So it's possible that there is maybe a different type of surgery or a different type of procedure. That's what I'm hearing, a different type of procedure that you could work with, that might get the results that you want. So again, you might have to go to a different doctor, a different healthcare provider, but I feel like there's a different procedure that can be done. Now, whether that procedure is a different surgery or some type of non-invasive medical treatment, I don't know, but I'm just hearing different procedure is what is is what's coming to mind. So, okay, let me see. So, I see a lot of people wanting to get some spirit messages. So, let me see who can come through. I'm going to ask spirits to kind of line up for me because I do have a group here. All right. So, the first person coming through. All right. The first person coming through is a male. This I feel is somebody's dad. I feel like this person would have had a great sense of humor. I'm seeing that he's very funny. I also believe he would have been a church going man. I see that he is someone who read the Bible. I also feel like he is someone who is very open minded. But the overall feeling that I'm getting from him is just like this huge sense of love. Like this guy loved everybody. He wasn't exactly an attention seeker, but he did not shy away from the spotlight. Uh, he did like attention, but it's not like he was going to do anything too crazy for it. So I see him just having this big energy, and I see him being genuinely loving, genuinely nice, model citizen. I'm trying to see what he may have done for work. Um, I'm seeing him wearing overalls. And so when I see overalls, to me, that would be something that's more hard labor. So that could be like a factory worker, a mechanic, something like that. This is not someone, I don't believe this is someone who had an office job. This is someone that would have been more into labor. So carpenter, plumber, something like that. Is this resonating with anyone so far? So we've got, so again, to recap, I have a male figure. I do see he would have been a church going man. I do believe he is a father. He would have been open minded. So he's not like a fundamentalist who was like my way or the highway. I feel like he would have, oh, Vicky, this sounds like your dad. So and Derp is also saying sounds like their dad too. Okay, so maybe we have two people coming through at the same time. And that can happen too. So spirits will piggyback, which means that two or more spirits can come through at the same time to give messages to more than one person. So yeah, this guy has a great vibe, and what I'm hearing from him, like the message is, you're going to be okay. And even as he's delivering this message, I feel like there's a twinkle in his eye. There's just so much joy radiating from this person. It's amazing. And he's like, you're going to be okay. And he sincerely means that. It's not like, you know, when someone's upset and you've got your hand over your shoulder and you're like, it's going to be okay. And you kind of say that to soothe them, even though you don't know if it's true, right? You're just like, it's going to be okay. Like, it's just something you say. He means it. So whatever situation is forming in your life, he is letting you know genuinely, like, it's going to be okay. So that's part of the message that's coming through. And then also, there's a lot of pride that he has in you. And he's also making me feel like you have been. Okay. So since this message, I think, is for more than one person, because I do think we have a piggybacking situation going on. Some of you have already tried something new, or some of you are contemplating it. And so whatever this newness is, it's like he's saying, yeah, you're on the right path. Go for that. That's going to be amazing. So he is. So, and he's also proud of your, I'm hearing ambition, proud of your ambition, proud of your strength, proud of your resilience, proud of your courage. And I'm seeing a point in your life, which feels like it would have been recently, maybe around January, where you were heavily just feeling so defeated. And that was a very strong feeling. And you felt like just kind of giving up on everything. And you didn't. You got back up again. You found your mojo. You found more energy. You were kind of hating life for a little bit, but you got back up and you're at it again. And so even though life isn't everything you want it to be right now, you do at least have this sense of vibrancy. And I feel like there's a part of your soul that's reawakening, and I think that you feel that. And your fire is coming back. So you're not fully lit yet. it's not like you're enjoying anything in abundance. Just I feel like life feels kind of monotonous and a little frustrating, but you're going after something new, and that's so important because with new skills, with new strength comes new energy. And so I do feel like you're going to find your happiness again, you're going to find your joy again. Life is not going to continue to be this monotonous. So hang in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and send these fathers over to everyone listening who can resonate with this message. And I hope that you feel his spirit near you. I really do, because this is a truly wonderful man who has so much love, excuse me, so much love for you, and really so much love for life. What's interesting is from the other side, I feel like this man has even more joy, if that's even possible. And he has more, I want to say, more respect for life, more love for life than he ever did before. So he's doing really good. So okay, so I hope that resonated. Vicky says I always feel him. Good. Okay, so let's see who else we have coming through. I have a man coming through, and he looks like he is military. I feel like I'm looking at a military uniform. He might be Hispanic. I do see him having darker skin, brown skin, it seems like. Very much a gentleman, but a little pervy. And also, I see him playing cards, smoking. I feel like this is someone's husband, and I see that the smoking like drove you nuts. It drove you mad. You hated that more than the drinking. So smoking. So yeah, he would have spent some time in the military. I see that you have at least one child with this man. I feel like he went overseas and didn't come back. So it feels like he did pass away overseas. I don't see him coming here and having passed away here. So I see there being this sensation for you of like, this is so unfair. This is not how this was supposed to happen. And there's this great feeling of disappointment's not even the right word for this, because you guys had certain things in your life planned and you wanted to have another child together. In fact, I think you guys talked about having 3 to 5 kids. And I think you only had the one. Like, I'm only seeing one child. And so I see that being really difficult for you. Obviously, that's a really tough situation. Let me just tune into this a little bit more. And you're holding on so strongly to how unfair this is. And it is unfair. And what's interesting is that he's saying to you, you have to let this go. So this idea of how unfair all of this is, that, you're left as a single mom now. Your child's not going to know her father except through the stories and the pictures, and he's saying that that's enough. Like, you're carrying my legacy. As long as my child knows about me, that's enough for me. Like, that's good. And so he is acknowledging how difficult this is for you, and he's wanting to also just tell you to give this time to be good to yourself. He is asking you to, I feel like he's asking you to go to the doctor, because it feels like you need to take better care of yourself. Like, I'm feeling like you're dehydrated, not eating very well. And so you've probably been, this has done a number on your body. Is this resonating with anybody? So again, I have a man that would have been in the military. I feel like he died overseas. I think he died in the military while he was still on active duty. And would have left behind a wife and at least one child. So, all right, if no one's claiming this right now, then this could be for someone watching the replay. And so just know that he's asking you to take good care of yourself, because this isn't the end of your story. And he is also um, there's this big push for you to go to the doctor. So I don't know if you're having headaches or what's going on, but it does feel like you need some medical advice to help you to become healthy again. So okay. All right, so I'm going to send that forward to someone. I know that it belongs to somebody here, but I think the person watching this may not want to speak up, because this is very, this is what happens in readings. Very personal information can come up, and sometimes we're not quite ready to hear the messages that come through. So, okay, let me see who else we've got. I still have this military man here. I feel like he really wants his wife to come through and speak up and claim the message. So I can't control that. Again, this is either someone watching now or on the replay. So I am sending him forward, and I'm asking another spirit to come through. Okay, I've got a grandmother energy here. This is someone who would have passed away at quite an older age. So this might be someone who made it into the hundreds, or at least pretty close, like 101, or that may have been her goal. May have been her goal to pass away at 101. But I do see she would have made it at least to her 90s, possibly later. So we have that grandma coming through. I see that she had quite a sweet tooth. I see towards the end, she didn't really like to bake or cook that much. I see this being someone who was an avid reader. I think that she would have loved reading to her kids and her grandkids, and through all stages of her life, she loved reading. I do think that her eyesight started going when she was not so much in her older years. She may have started having issues with her eyes when she was in her 30s. I'm also hearing something about glaucoma. So yeah, she would have been having issues with her eyes, and it feels like, again, that would have popped up or started being an issue for her in her 30s. I'm hearing that she didn't really like to drive. so when so she might have been one of the, so it's very possible that you as her adult child would have driven her around a lot, and this wouldn't have been because she couldn't drive herself. She just didn't really like to drive. So I think that for grocery store trips and things like that, you would have taken her. Let's see, what else have we got? There's a lot coming out of this woman. she's she's quite the talker. She likes to talk about herself. And she's saying she didn't really talk about herself a whole lot when she was still here in human form, but she's openly sharing all this about her so that you can recognize her. I feel like she had some type of a pendant that would have been passed down to you. So I am seeing a necklace. It does feel like it might have been religious, so it might have been a cross or something like that. But I do see that there is a necklace that would have been special to her, that was passed down to you, that was given to you when she shortly after she crossed over. Actually, it might have been a little bit longer. It might have been a couple years that you received it. So yeah, this is a grandmother who's coming through, and she's just like, oh, and the other thing about the reading, I feel like when she was sick or when she was older, because it doesn't even feel like she passed from a sickness. Sherry's asking, a nurse by chance? That seems about right. She might have been a nurse. It feels like she would have been a caretaker of some form when she was still here. So towards the end of her life, when she couldn't read well for herself, and I'm also seeing like she would have been struggling just to hold a book on her own. So even that would have been difficult for her. I think it's a female, so it may have been her daughter by her side reading a book to her. And I'm also hearing Nora Roberts, so she might have been a Nora Roberts fan. So seems like maybe, or that type of genre. Honestly, I don't even know what Nora Roberts. I don't read those type of books, so I don't know what genre that is. But that's one of the names that just came through. So an author that probably would have been one of her favorites, or maybe even one of your favorites. So so yeah, so she's coming through and she's talking about like it was a good whole life. Like she led a whole life, and I feel like she was so balanced. Like she took the good with the bad, and this is someone who didn't get, I want to say, heavily attached to the outcome of a situation, because she knew things could go either way. So she was pretty pragmatic, very intelligent. Um, and I see that she's not at all a know it all. So if she knew better than someone else, she would keep her mouth shut and just to kind of keep the peace. Like she wouldn't call people out when they were wrong, because she knew it wouldn't matter. Like it wasn't going to change their minds. So I see her being gracious in that approach, but also in the back of her mind, like there is a little bit of smugness because she did know better, but she wasn't going to rub it in anyone's face. Shannon, can you see her? Is she fair skinned with black hair? Yes, she is actually. That's exactly what I'm looking at when she's showing me herself as younger. Yes, that's, yep, that's her. That seems to be her. Um, so yeah, darker hair at least. I don't know if it's black hair exactly, but definitely darker hair. Um, so yeah, so she's just making it known that she had a complete life. She doesn't regret anything. And she just looks back at her life as being this amazing story that was told through her actions. And she's also acknowledging how you still have these fond memories of her and how you bring her up. I want to say pretty frequently. And it feels like she still comes up in conversation at family gatherings. Like there's always at some point during a family gathering, a remembrance of her where people start talking about their favorite memories of her. And so she really enjoys that. And I feel like she's thanking you for that. So, so it feels like this was another piggyback thingy, piggyback message, because I see a lot of you that were able to resonate with this. Chicano rap, did she recently die? I don't feel like this is someone who would have passed recently. It feels like this would have been at least a year ago or longer. So this wouldn't have been, I'm not picking up that this was someone who like would have passed away weeks ago or months ago. This feels longer than that. Also, another woman just came through and put her hand on her shoulder. So she's showing me that she was reunited with, I feel like this is a sister. Well, another female she's close to, sister. And this is a piggybacking situation because for at least one grandmother that's come through with this message, it would be her sister. For the other one, it was an aunt that she was very close to. So, okay. Let's see what else we can bring through. Also, for those of you who would like a private session with me, you can visit my website at guidingechoes.com. So I do offer private sessions as well. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get one more spirit through, and then after that we'll move into psychic. Because I know that a lot of you have questions that you would like to have answered, and I do want to leave at least some time available for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and see who wants to come through. Okay, so I have a dog. I have a dog coming through. You know, okay, I'm gonna let you guys know one of my insecurities. So right now I'm dog sitting a beautiful German Shepherd, And right now, as I am bringing forth spirit, I see another German Shepherd. I know it's not the one I'm pet sitting, but when that happens, sometimes I wonder, oh my gosh, is this just my mind playing tricks on me? Because I'm watching a German Shepherd, so my mind's fabricating this. So hopefully it's not. Hopefully someone here can validate that they have a German Shepherd on the other side. This German Shepherd is not alone. There is one other dog with him or her. I can't quite make it out. I think this is another shepherding dog. And I've also got, this feels like an Australian Shepherd. It's not a Border Collie. This is definitely an Australian Shepherd. It has those beautiful blue eyes. In fact, it might even have one brown and one blue. So I am seeing something cool with the eyes. The Aussie Shepherd is white, black, and gray. So he's got like these, it feels like the main color is white, but then he's got black and gray spots all over him, or her. I don't know which one. I don't know if it's a him or a her. I think it's a her because I'm not seeing anything underneath, so I'm going to go with this as a her. So I've got a German Shepherd and I've got an Aussie Shepherd. I feel like this dog would have had a pretty good size yard. This does feel like it would have been, oh man, I'm getting two messages at the same time. Sorry guys, this happens once in a while. Because first I saw that this Aussie Shepherd is in a normal Christine Jarvis black and white. Yes. But it's not a Chihuahua though. I'm seeing a like I said, this is an Aussie Shepherd and its tail is docked. So first I saw like a beautiful, well manicured backyard, and just as I was about to say that, it changed into a farm. So I might actually have again two dogs coming through at the same time. So there'd be the Aussie Shepherd and there'd be my German Shepherd. so we've got doggies coming through. So there's not really a message with the dogs other than, they want you to know that they're beside you. They're still existing. I'm trying, let me tune in more, because they're like, animals can communicate a little bit differently, and I wasn't anticipating animals to come through today, but I'm open to anything, because why not, right? Okay. Yeah, the Aussie Shepherd is showing me zoomies, like just running back and forth. So the Aussie Shepherd is doing just fine, and the German Shepherd is just kind of sitting there. Doesn't seem like the German Shepherd had a whole lot of energy, but would have been a really good companion. Okay, so okay, I get it. So these are two different dogs. The German Shepherd was a companion to an older gentleman, and the German Shepherd is actually bringing this older gentleman through. So, so someone watching, the German Shepherd isn't connected to you. It's connected to either your father or grandfather. And it looks like this man spent a lot of time by himself. I see his house being moderate to small size. I think that he would have lost his wife. So towards the end, he would have, during the last few years of his life, he would have been alone. So he's showing me this, this German Shepherd. Now, the German Shepherd may not have been purebred. This may have been a mixed breed. So he's just showing me that this was his friend. This was like his support animal. So he's showing you that he is reunited with his dog on the other side. So if you feel a presence, and it's kind of hard to explain if you haven't been through it, but so years ago I had a dog who passed away, and both me and my boyfriend at the time would feel this dog rub against our legs at times, and of course the dog was no longer there. So if you happen to feel the presence of the dog there, and also the presence of your father or grandfather, I think this is a father, then know that's not in your head. This is absolutely both your grandfather and the doggy. So so I hope that helps. Okay, so Peg says so far sounds like my dad and his dog Duffy. She was a German Shepherd Husky mix. Okay, yes, that's it, because I actually did see a husky and didn't bring it up. So yeah, that's it. Because the German Shepherd came through with a husky, but somehow I knew that I wasn't seeing an actual husky. So yes, that's it. Okay, cool. Was anyone able to claim the border collie? The little border collie that had like the zoomies? That was really cute when she showed me the zoomies. Okay. So if not, that's all right, because hopefully someone on the replay will be able to understand it. So okay. So Bonnie, I am really sorry to hear about your kitty. And I thought we had talked about this before, but your kitty is near you. Like your kitty is near you a lot. And I feel like even when you're lying down on your bed, I feel like you feel this cat on your bed. And so if you happen to feel it purring, which can happen sometimes, when our animals pass away, when a cat passes away, a lot of times people will feel it jump on the bed, or they might feel like a little vibration somewhere, like on their arm, and that's them purring, and so you're energetically picking that up. So pay attention to the signs, because your kitty is around you, and your kitty loves you very, very much. But I feel like this cat is so attached to you on the other side. I just, yeah, this cat still walks around you, still is around you, still, it's almost as if the cat doesn't recognize it's passed on. Like, to this cat, it's still alive, it's still your cat. you know. So yeah, so continue to talk to your kitty. The only routine you probably don't need to continue is giving it food and water, but you can still bring out toys. You can still bring out toys for the cat. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you brought out some, little balls for the cat, and eventually notice them moving and stuff on their own. So yeah, so your kitty is still around you. So okay, so let's go ahead and well, first of all, let me go ahead and get rid of this spammer who's telling people to inbox him for readings, because we don't do that here. That's rude and that's tacky. So okay, let's go ahead and get into the psychic reading. So that was the mediumship. If another spirit does happen to want to come through, I was gonna say I'll be open to that, and as soon as I said that, a spirit came through. So we've got another man here. He's wearing a chef hat. He loves to barbecue. He loves to cook. He loves to cook, and I see him with the spatula. Aw, Shannon, thank you, so sweet. I very much appreciate that. Thank you for reading for us tonight. Very kind of you. My pleasure. Well, thank you for showing up here. We've got a full house tonight. I'm so thankful for you guys for being here and for sharing the space with me. So I hope that you guys all get something out of this time together. Okay. So again, we've got this man coming through. Loves to cook. I see that I feel like he really enjoys steak. Like, I feel like that would have been one of his specialties to cook, would have been steak, and especially like steak on a grill. But it doesn't necessarily seem like this grill would be outside. It does feel like in a kitchen. And I do feel like he would have cooked professionally too. So this is a chef, and this is someone who just took great pride in his cooking. Like, great pride in his food. He really did make all food with so much love, so much joy. And I see that he could be really intense in the kitchen, like really intense in the kitchen. So if other people are in his way, I don't even think he would say, "Hey, get out of my way." I see him just like physically moving the person and going to the station that he needs to be at because he's so focused. And that's another thing. I see that this is a man who had tremendous focus. Like once he was fixed in on something, he was you weren't going to talk him out of that. And I feel like he could be really intense with just about anything. So I think he would have been, and I also see that he did have an argumentative quality to him. Like I see that he could get, yeah, argumentative about things he was really passionate about. So I don't see him arguing about food. Like that was pure love. That was pure, like that was just his joy. He took pride in it. But I could see him getting argumentative over things that really mattered, like sometimes politics. But I see him having a lot of pride and even being passionately angry about injustice happening more in his own city, like in his own town, in his own state. And so I see, and I do see him also giving food off to the homeless. So he is showing me that. So there was a philanthropic side to him where he, yeah, he would cook for the homeless. And I feel like that might have been something he did on the weekends where he would have made it his mission to like maybe do sandwiches or something. But I do see that there's this part of him that was very much about giving back to the community. He was very passionate about entrepreneurship, and he's saying something about, I want to say judgment zones, but that's not the right term I'm looking for. uh, Something about the zoning in a city and how that was affecting small businesses. Um, so he would have been very involved and very vocal about how the city was putting out permits and whatnot. So yeah, he was very much about small business ownership, small businesses, entrepreneurship, um, the city and just the government in general helping small businesses, small business owners. And yeah, he was I want to say this guy was pretty complicated. So is this ringing? I haven't been able to, I wasn't watching this chat. So is this resonating with anybody? So again, we have a man coming through. I can't tell if this is, I can't tell who this person is in relation to you, though. This doesn't feel like a husband. This might be a brother. It might be a friend. So it doesn't feel like someone who's completely. Uh, it doesn't feel like, yeah, it's not a husband. It doesn't feel like a father. So again, we have a man here who loves to cook. Um, Oh, here we go. Nadine. My stepfather was a building inspector for the city of Phoenix. His name was John. He loved barbecuing and he loved to cook. And yes, he was very argumentative. This could be it then. That could be him. Building inspector. So that makes sense because he's talking about zoning. Like I heard this guy talking about zoning. So, okay. I think that's who this is. All right. So he's also very expressive with his hands, and his message is like, it's like his message is like, whatever you do in life, do it with love, do it with passion. And he's just like, his hand movements, like this is what I see him do it with love, do it with passion, and even when he's saying this, he's like fierce. He's fierce, and not in a scary way, just like he's passionate, right? um so there you go. So goodness. All right, so let me see if he's got another message. That seems like it's the brunt of it, because for him, if you're not, if you weren't passionately in love with something or passionately angry about it, it's like there was no meaning to it. So yeah, he was pretty intense guy. But I see that I see that a lot of times his heart was in the right place. And this is a man who just absolutely hated injustice. Like that got on his last nerve. So I think that that's something he probably would have been a good lawyer. Actually, as soon as I said that, he's like, no, I hate lawyers. He's like, no way. I don't want to spend all my time in a courtroom. I need to be out with the people, you know? So, all right. So I hope that this was helpful. He was short and used his hands a lot. Yep. Yep. He's very much. Yep. There you go. All right. Spirit world for now. If I wasn't able to get to you, I do apologize. If you would like to set up a private session with me, you can visit my website at guidingechoes.com and set that up. And I will be doing readings like this in the future. I don't know when the next one will be, but I do want to come on here more often for you guys. Okay. All right. So, Julie, what is my future with my new job? I see that. Okay. So it feels like the next 6 months are more about you, I want to say, learning the new job. So I'm sure that you're already aware of how it works. But of course, the next 6 months are about, I want to say, learning the politics, learning who you can trust, who you need to kind of, be more mindful of, the unwritten rules of this particular corporation. So just really pay attention to how everyone is working, and I want to say how they're behaving there. So everyone kind of abides by a certain set of rules for themselves in any workplace. So just be mindful of what set of rules people have. Like for some reason, for some people, they're not going to answer their email for at least 20 to 30 minutes after they've settled in and after they've started work. So just be mindful if someone's like that, and you don't want to be that person that emails them before they're checking their email. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that. And I see that I'm hearing 6 months, and I feel like in 6 months there's the opportunity for a promotion and for more job growth. So I do feel like that the company you're working for is still expanding. I don't know if I don't know what size it is, but it feels like your office is at least smaller, or your department is, because I am feeling something that's smaller. But it does feel like there's a lot of expansion and growth happening with this company. So I do feel like in 6 months there'll be the opportunity, again, the opportunity for more growth for you. Brenda Bound, hi Nicole, can you tell me what my current chances are as an author? I think that you have an excellent chance at being an author. You just have to, really sit down and make it your intention to write. And so right now what I'm feeling is like writer's block is a very real thing for you. Like you'll go to sit down, you want to write something, and then it's almost like, okay, but how do I say this? Or you'll start writing and you feel like it's just gibberish. so um so just get into that as much as you can. I want to say get into that stream of consciousness, but even as I'm saying that, I realize that that's not going to be the most helpful for you. And so what I'm hearing is what can be helpful for you are different writer prompts. So if you go on Google, there's a lot of different blogs, there's a lot of different websites that have free writer prompts out there. And then, of course, you can always go to the library and look up different books that they have there. But I think writer prompts where you write short stories for each prompt, or maybe you write just really, well, okay, let me back up. Challenge yourself with writing different genres with these writer prompts. So if a writer prompt says, an interesting thing happened today, you might decide to make that a sci-fi. You might decide that's going to be a sci-fi, or you might decide it's going to be a self-help story, or you might decide that you're going to talk about one of your favorite memories, or you might decide you're going to use it as a manifestation prompt. You know what I'm saying? So use these different prompts and also try different genres, and that's really going to get the ball rolling for you and get those creative juices flowing for you. I think it could also be fun if you were to join a writers group on Facebook, where maybe they have different prompts, because then you can write your little stories, but you can also maybe gain inspiration from the fabulous and creative ideas that other people have too. So I think joining a writers group could be really fun for you. And once you really feel those creative juices flowing, I think that's when you'll feel more confident in yourself, and you'll be able to really get into that stream of consciousness and write your book or books. Because I do see you writing, I want to say, a 3-set volume. So these could be 3 different books that all complement each other. So there you go. So Brianna says, haven't had a dream visitation, or I haven't had a visitation dream from my grandma in a while. Any advice? Yes. Okay. So there's a couple of different things you can do. The first thing that you can do is place her picture by your bedside. And as you go to sleep every night, you just kind of want to gaze over at it, and you want to talk to her and invite her into your dreams. And so that's one thing that you can do. And another method that you can use is, as you're falling asleep, visualize that you're opening a door and you're allowing your grandma to come in, and you just start talking to her. And with that imagery in mind, what you're doing is you're literally opening up the door to your mind, to your subconscious mind, and allowing her to come in. And that might be something that works really well for you. And that way, as you fall asleep, sometimes what can happen is that conversation will continue on its own, or you might find that as you fall asleep, you end up in an entirely different setting, and you're still able to connect with your grandma. So those are the 2 methods that I would recommend for you. Okay, let's see. Hey there, is there any guidance for me with quitting my secure job and pursuing a new profession I actually went to school for? I'm struggling to get into the flow of things. What is the issue? Oh man, I feel this on such a deep level. I mean, I'm not quitting my job anytime soon, but I remember going through something similar, and I totally understand the struggle to get into the flow of things. So I have some empathy for you. All right. What's coming through is, I don't feel like it's time to quit your job yet. What I am feeling is that it is important for you to really get into a mental state of what your next job is going to be, pursuing that new profession, which means that you start visualizing it a few minutes every day. So after you get home from work, after you complete your day job, you take a few moments to close your eyes and you visualize yourself having that new job. And you visualize what type of, you visualize what your responsibilities are, and you really get into the feeling of what that's going to be like. Because what we're wanting to do is get you into alignment with that new job. And once you really start to feel like you're in alignment and you start to get excited about it, then you might want to start putting forth more effort into that. So if that means that you get encouraged and inspired to rev up your resume, use that energy boost to do that, and start posting on Indeed or different there's so many job boards out there now. I'm self-employed, so I don't know what job boards are out there right now, but start looking, because when you feel excited about it, and when you feel like you can naturally and organically write a beautiful cover letter for your resume, that's when you're going to feel really good about this new step. And then also the universe will start to align different things for you, like different opportunities. So it could be something as simple as, you go to the store, you're in the produce section, you strike up a conversation with someone. I'm a weirdo. I always strike up conversations with people in the produce department of the store. It's weird. I'm weird. And then you might realize that that person's in the industry that you want to be in. And so then you're able to make that connection. So start making the connections, but first make the connection in your mind. Really align your energy to it, and you'll eventually get into the flow of things, but you have to focus on it first. So really make that your intention. And as you do that, you will eventually get to a point where where you're not going to feel as if leaving your current job is a big sacrifice, because once you get to that point where you're in alignment with your new profession, things are going to start coming together for you, and you'll be ready to leave that job. And you're not going to leave that other job because you hate it or because it's draining you, even if that is how you feel about it. But you'll be ready to leave that job because this other thing is already lined up for you. And so you'll have this smooth transition. And even though your current job is probably kind of a bummer right now, like it's not what you want, do your best to show gratitude for it, bless it with love, thank the universe for it, and also start affirming that your current job is going to find the perfect replacement for you that's able to come in there as you make your transition over here. And that way you're not going to feel weird about leaving, and there's not going to be bad blood with that company when you make the transition to the new place. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you. Um okay. Let's see. Let me grab a drink of water. What's she making all those noises for, puppy dog? I thought she was sleeping, but she wasn't. She was just kicking her legs because I don't know why. Okay. Beth, positive energy sent to you, Nicole. Thank you. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. I'll always accept positive energy. Negative energy, I don't want. Y'all can keep that, but I'll take the positive energy. And I will do my best to send positive energy to you guys too. Sound like a deal? I think that's a fair trade, right? I think that's a fair trade. Okay. Sherry, how do I keep going? Is it even possible? My heart literally aches. It's crushed. I'm still waiting for Sean to come home on Christmas Day, on Mother's Day. Sherry, that's really difficult. And I want you to know that you're not alone in that. And I know you feel so alone. And I know you feel oppressed and depressed and defeated. And these are all completely natural feelings. But I know that knowing that these are natural feelings doesn't even really help that much, does it? But there are other people who have that same ache and that same heaviness that you do, because they've lost their loved ones. People have lost people that are significantly close to them. And so I'm not saying that to lessen your pain at all, but I'm saying that to hopefully validate it for you, because I know that when we suffer a significant loss, we start to feel like we're separated from all of humanity, and we think, God, there's no one else on the planet who understands how painful this is and how hard this is, and why do I even keep going? And what's interesting is that there are other people who feel that too. And so one of the meditations that you can do that I've actually found helpful, in fact, I learned this through an app called Bloom, is to close your eyes and you just allow yourself to feel all those uncomfortable feelings. And then you imagine that in front of you is this blue, we'll say it's this orb. It's a blue orb. And you just imagine that this blue orb is encompassing all of those hurt and painful feelings. And then in this meditation, what you do is you just imagine yourself rising up. So you imagine kind of yourself rising up out of your body, above your home. And then you just keep going up and up and up. And as you're looking out, you start to notice all these other blue orbs too. And these other blue orbs also represent other people who are hurting, other people who are depressed, other people who have lost their loved ones as well. And when you're able to do that, there is this sense of, it's still sad. It's still an experience that's sad, but you don't feel so alone anymore. And what I have found is that when you're in grieving, at least this is for me, it may not be true for you, but for me, I feel like a lot of times that loneliness, that feeling of being so separated from everyone else, is the most crushing part of grief, because I like connection. And so when I feel separated from everyone and everything, and I can't make that connection anymore, that's really difficult. And so that feeling of looking up, of rising up and looking down at your city or your state from a bird's eye view and noticing all these other blue orbs can help you to remember that you're not alone in this. And even in that, you can feel this sense of connection. And the other thing to keep in mind is that your loved ones who have passed on, they're still with you, they're still near you. But of course, the dynamic has changed. And now is an opportunity to learn how to communicate with them through different means. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I do have a video that I recorded earlier this year that teaches you how to make communication cards so that you can connect with your loved one through there. And it's a great method because even if you're not psychic and you're not a medium, you can still use these communication cards, which you'll create, to connect with your loved one. And a lot of people have used this and they've had tremendously amazing results. And so people start to have synchronicities. They'll start to have more dream visitations. They start to feel the presence of their loved ones near them more. It's really quite spectacular. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that video, I'd like to invite you to do that, because really the thing is that you feel so alone and you feel so crushed because you don't feel that connection to other people or to them anymore. And if you're able to feel that connection, it eases the pain. And you're still going to miss them. You're still going to miss them. You're still going to miss their physical presence. But once you learn how to communicate with them through another means, and you're able to get that new communication validated through, again, signs, synchronicities, dream visitations, it does start to feel better and your grief isn't as heavy. So that would be my suggestion for you. So I do hope that is helpful for you. And she says, I bought your kit a while back because it was my son. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. That is really painful. But you can definitely build that connection with him and continue communicating with him. And as you do that more, and as you start to really see evidence of him communicating back, it's when the heaviness starts to lift, and it does get better. And it takes time, and I think that's the toughest thing with any type of soul crushing grief is the time between now and when you're actually starting to feel less grief. I won't even say better, because it's like, what does better even feel like in this moment? When you're heavy in grief, it's hard to imagine feeling better. But the grief can at least feel lightened. It can be lifted. And so from now to that time, it just feels like eternity. It really feels like it's never going to end, but it does start to lift, and you do start to feel more whole and complete. But again, it takes time. So he's always with you, Sherry. He's absolutely always with you. So, okay. Last question from Annie. Hi, Nicole. Any messages for me regarding my marriage and if I will ever find peace in my marriage and home life? So you're married right now, I take it? I want to make sure I'm understanding the question correctly. Because I feel like you're saying that you're married right now and maybe it's not a good situation. Maria, I just heard yes. Let me go ahead and switch this over. Maria, I'm hearing a yes on that. Like, as soon as I read your question, I heard yes. So I hope so. I definitely hope so. Okay. All right, Annie. I feel like, earlier today when we opened up, we were praying, and restoration was the word that came through. And when it comes to your marriage and finding peace in your marriage and your home life, what I'm feeling is that you need to be able to take a step back from your marriage. And I don't mean divorce or maybe a separation, but not necessarily a divorce, not yet. I feel like you need to be able to take a step back and restore yourself and know what that looks like for you, because I feel like you've lost parts of yourself in this marriage. I feel like your husband can be a pretty overwhelming and overpowering force. That causes you to feel lost, and you don't necessarily know, I want to say, who you are anymore. And I do feel like his influence in your life, um, I want to say, has been toxic, and it's been difficult to deal with. And you probably feel like you don't have a lot of people that you can connect to when it talks when you sorry, I was looking at the different, a comment popped up and kind of distracted me. So sorry about that. So I feel like you probably don't have a lot of people you can talk to about this that can really empathize with you or give you sound advice, because this is a complicated situation. Whenever you're married and whenever your home life is in chaos, that is not easy to deal with. And so what I'm seeing is that you need to be able to take some type of a step back. And I don't know what that looks like for you, because I think it's really hard for you to gain physical distance from him. So it may mean that you need to start cutting ties emotionally and start figuring out who you are and what type of life you want. Because I don't feel like this is a situation that is going to change very easily. I don't know if you were to set out a plan for the type of dynamics that you want in this relationship that would allow you to feel whole, that would allow you to feel secure, I don't know that he would go along with it. I think that he's okay with how things are right now. And you may not be. I mean, clearly you're not. So you need to really spend some time and figure out what it is that you want and what you desire. And you also need to remind yourself that you are worthy of the love that you desire. You are worthy of the love that you desire. And if the people that are closest to you are not giving you the type of love and respect that you need to grow and to thrive, then it's time to start asking yourself if they should even be in your life. And I also feel that you feel depleted and defeated. And I feel like you're not able to put the amount of energy that you'd like to put into other people. Like, I feel like you're not even able to be fully present or maybe fully happy for your friends and your loved ones when good things happen to them. Like, you're happy for them, sure, but it's like, it's not this overly joyous momentum energy that you would like to give to them. Does that make sense? And because it's not present in your own life, it's hard to give that to others. Um, so I hope that this makes sense to you. I really do. So just again, take some time to really think about what you desire, what you want, and how you can go about getting that. And I just don't see this being a person who would be willing to go to counseling, because that's what I want to say. Like, can you find a mediator? But I also know that you can't, because I feel like that's just not, I feel like you've probably hinted at it before, and he's made it very clear that that is not happening. So take a step back, reprioritize, regroup, and figure out what you want, and be your best ally, be your best friend, and start moving towards that. Okay. So, all right, my friends. Well, I do hope that this was helpful for you guys. And remember, if I wasn't speaking directly to you, but the message landed, there was something that you took from a message, even if it was geared towards someone else, please know that that's how spirit works. So if something really resonated with you and for you, then it was for you. right? Even if I wasn't calling you out directly, if it felt like it resonated for you, it was for you. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, if you guys would like to schedule a session with me, you can visit my website at guidingechoes.com. And I will be back on Monday with a new video. And next video, on Monday's video, we're going to talk about what does it mean to sit in the power. So if you're a psychic or a medium and you've ever been to a mediumship development or psychic development course, or you've read any mediumship books, you've probably heard this phrase, sit in the power, which I gotta be honest, kind of confused me for a while when I was developing more mediumship, when I was reading into it. I didn't really understand what that meant. And apparently I'm not the only one. So that is going to be Monday's video. I hope that you find it helpful. And again, if you are a developing medium or psychic, then it's going to be a great video for you. So, all right, my friends, take care. Again, you can visit my website, guidingechoes.com, to set up a reading with me. And I'll see you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye, everyone.